Good morning. As I look and listen at what's taking place, it's idiotic. You want to protect the people in the highest offices because they are the criminals. That's what this is. The people in the highest positions are the criminals, and you want to protect them. That's what it's all about. And you don't want them to be exposed. They're already exposed in our mind. We already know who they are. You are disrespecting Representative Cory Booker. Let him speak.
But you hid the fact that you put here
What?
the real intention of your amendment. It has nothing to do with immigration. It says it right here in the first two lines. The real effort was just to not have accountability and transparency. What are you afraid of?
Mr. Chairman, may I respond?
Yeah, you may respond.
I trust the Senate confirmed Attorney General of the United States to make the proper legal analysis to determine what of the Jeffrey Epstein files can be released.
Right.
She was confirmed by the United States Senate as Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States. I trust her to make the right legal determination. But I would ask my colleague from New Jersey, you claim you care about the victims. Do you care about Tammy Nobles? Do you care about Marie Vega, the angel moms who lost their loved ones, their children, to the acts of an illegal alien who never should have been here in the first place? Do you care about them?
Can I respond to the senator's question? Sir, I've known you for 14 years. You and I both care about victims of crime. And to suggest otherwise is stunning to me. If I may finish, sir, I allowed you to finish. I asked, sir, and I'm trying to
I didn't
answer.
make an accusation.
Mr. Chairman,
I asked you
Mr.
a
Chairman,
question.
Mr. Chairman,
Answer the
I
question.
should have allowed a time to respond to the senator's question. I did not interrupt him, and now he's interrupting me.
Please.
It is another violation of the decorum of this place.
Go ahead, Senator.
Senator Cornyn, both you and I have spent our lives. I know your record, I know your history, I know what you've done. I would never ever question whether you care about the victims of a heinous crime.
Mr. Chairman, please help me.
You ask me if I care? Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, I'm not finished yet.
Well, thank you for answering the question.
Well, I'm going to answer the question in full. You are not sincere.
Let me explain.
Sir, he has put an amendment in
Would you allow?
trying to use the horrific nature.
Would you allow me as sponsor this bill to?
Sir, I will not pick a fight with Chuck Grassley in the same way that Chuck Grassley won't pick a fight with me.
The reason for his amendment is because your amendment says that this bill that we're working on will not go into effect until we get all these records. And this bill is an opioid bill to help solve some of the drug problems in this country. And we ought to get it passed because it's a bipartisan bill and it's very badly needed.
Sir, may I respond?
Yes.
So I said at the top of my comments, my frustrations, we've said it to your staff, we've said it to others, that when funds like this have been made available so far in the first 6 months, they're clawing back funds from my state. And that's unfair, and I would like to deal with those. We could deal with them. And given that, I am sticking to an amendment that is not controversial.
Okay.
I know it's not controversial, sir, because I've seen polling literally on Republican channels that the overwhelming majority of Republicans and Democrats want transparency and accountability. That the overwhelming majority of Americans has seen that one of these two things is lies. That one of these two things is lies. I know it's not controversial, sir, because I've seen polling literally on Republican channels that the overwhelming majority of Republicans and Democrats want transparency and accountability. That the overwhelming majority of Americans has seen that one of these two things is lies. Is there truckloads full of evidence as to victims of crime not having justice? Have we been lied to? Who are we trying to protect? What are they trying to hide? This is not controversial. We have Republican leaders in Congress calling for the same thing that this amendment calls for. And so for a second degree to be offered to mine, where you're using horrific crimes to hide the real intention of this, if this amendment is so important, just strike the first two lines that strikes my entire amendment. The intention of this is clear. Is there truckloads full of evidence as to victims of crime not having justice? Have we been lied to? Who are we trying to protect? What are they trying to hide? This is not controversial. We have Republican leaders in Congress calling for the same thing that this amendment calls for. And so for a second degree to be offered to mine, where you're using horrific crimes to hide the real intention of this, if this amendment is so important, just strike the first two lines that strikes my entire amendment. The intention of this is clear. It's to not give the American people accountability, transparency, and truth. That's what we as the Judiciary Committee should be seeking. So I offer a third degree amendment, preserving every noble thing that the senator from Texas said he wanted.
You can't offer a third degree amendment.
I can't offer a third degree. Then I ask that we strike the true intention of his amendment, the first two lines.
At this stage, you can't offer a third degree amendment. If there's some way for you to do that, I don't know what it is.
Yes, may I respond?
Yes.
Briefly?
Then we'll have a roll call vote, because I know you folks want to get votes on your amendment. I asked you to withdraw them, and you aren't withdrawing them. So
I just want to ask you a question, Mr. Chairman. In your opinion, would the addition of these amendments to the underlying bipartisan bill jeopardize our ability to pass this underlying bill, anti-opioid bill, out of committee and across the Senate floor and get it enacted into law? Would these amendments jeopardize that?
I see them jeopardize it in ways even beyond what you said.
So,
because if we pass the legislation with this stuff on, it wouldn't go into effect anyway. Who knows how far down the road? When the president signs a bill.
The debate that Senator Booker and I have is not something that's going to be resolved today. And so it will continue. So I think regardless of how we act on the underlying bill, that debate will continue, and neither he nor I are giving anything up in terms of our ability to continue to debate this topic. But I'm willing to withdraw my amendment if Senator Booker's willing to withdraw his amendment in the interest of passing this bipartisan anti-opioid bill out of the committee and through the Senate and seeing it enacted into law, and hopefully saving some lives in the process.
Senator Booker.
Mr. Grassley, sir, I have asked for someone to address my New Jersey concerns for months now. There's an incident in which you got a special carve out for your state when they froze funds, but I have got no justice for New Jersey. So if you want to postpone this and address my New Jersey concerns about the resources we are not getting, and I know you would do that with me in good faith, I would be happy in our next meeting. But right now, I am sticking with my amendment.
It'd be faster to address your concerns for New Jersey if you'd asked me to help you with the administration to get something done so you can get your money.
Sir, I've got no. I'm not from you.
Then if you do it through the legislative process, tell me that. Let me make a conversation with the White House on your issue.
But I'm going to stick with my amendment until I get satisfaction on it.
The clerk will call the roll.
What are we voting on? I have no idea. On my amendment?
No, we're voting.
It's a second degree.
Call the roll on the Cornyn amendment.
Mr. Grant.
His second degree, which had nothing to do with immigration, which was to conceal the Epstein file. Senator Cornyn's effort to conceal the Epstein files right here on 1 and 2 has now violated my amendment. There is no amendment anymore. It passed.
That's right.
And Cornyn is saying, yes, I passed. I did something to stop the American public from seeing the Epstein files. It renders my amendment moot. That was the intention of Senator Cornyn's amendment that he just passed, which was to conceal.
Chairman, I have to respond. Nothing we are voting on today is going to change any of the debate about the Epstein files.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
So Mr. Cornyn claims that nothing about this would end debate. We're not seeking to end debate. We're seeking to pass legislation out of this committee that would force the disclosure and the transparency and the truth being made public. We had a chance today that Senator Cornyn blocked to make the truth known to the American public. We had the power today, the possibility today, to force out the truth regarding the Epstein files and the lies and the obfuscation that is happening by this administration. What Senator Cornyn did today was to block the truth about what's happening with the Department of Justice and the Epstein file. It is that on its plain truth, no matter how much he wants to try to dodge that truth.
Mr. Chairman, I have to respond.
Well, quickly, because
I will respond quickly.
Take your time.
What Senator Booker is trying to do is to kill this underlying bipartisan bill that will hopefully save hundreds, maybe thousands of lives because of the opioid crisis. It's already taken tens of thousands of lives in this country over recent years because of the Biden open border policies. So I'm simply trying to preserve this bipartisan legislation, again, that will save lives. The debate that he and I are having over the Epstein files, I doubt will be resolved today based on any amendments either he or I offer. So that's the reason for my amendment, because I want to save lives from the opioid crisis. And I believe his amendment is a distraction from that and actually will jeopardize seeing this bipartisan legislation enacted into law.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
Mr. Chairman, may I respond?
No, I'm calling on Greg.
I thought you were going back and forth, sir. I didn't know that.
I'll be real quick. So if Senator Booker's problem is with the bill itself, which it seems to be, I understand that. Hopefully we can work out a way to get money to your state you think does justice for New Jersey. I got that. That makes perfect sense. But the Epstein Amendment presented some other way. It's not going away. What we're trying to do with this bill is really good. And there's no end to this, a way of doing business here. If this is a headline about Cornyn blocks transparency of Epstein, then that would be sad, because he's responding to your amendment that would make the bill, quite frankly, fail. Of Epstein, then that would be sad, because he's responding to your amendment that would make the bill, quite frankly, fail. I want to help Senator Booker with your problem, but what you're doing, I don't think is helpful to the bill. I don't think it's helpful to the committee. I don't think it's helpful to your problem.
Senator Graham, there's not been a time in my career where you said you want to help me that you didn't. So I'm going to take you up on that, and I'm going to withdraw.
I'll be glad to.
And I'm going to withdraw my amendment.
You're a good man, and I will try to deliver with Senator Grassley the best I can.
Mr. Chairman, I would also ask leave to withdraw my amendment and vote on the underlying bill.
Seconding Senator Booker's demand for a vote on his request to hear from the whistleblower.
Mr. Chairman, you should at least acknowledge my Rule 4 point of order.
You're out of order.
I don't understand this. What are you afraid of about even debating this,
by proxy.
putting things on the record, hearing from every senator? Dear God, that's what our obligations are, is to state our reasons for debate. At least address the Rule 4 point of order that we're calling. There's no need to rush this. What are we afraid of? We're not pressing for the 2-hour rule like you all did when you were in the minority. We're simply asking for a credible amount of time to air our concerns before the vote. We respect each other in this committee. We respect the understanding that we have things to say. But yet we're doing this in a way that makes no sense to me. And it makes no sense to me because we're not trying to do things like force the committee to close or force the 2-hour rule. This is about understanding that people on this side have a responsibility to state their issues.
You're out of order.
Mr. Sir, you can call me out of order because this is out of order. This undermines the basic decency of this committee. Yes, maybe overrule Rule 4, but at least address the Rule 4 point of order that senators were elected to debate issues and debate nominees. This is absolutely insane.
Hey,
what is the rush? Sir, I am interrupting because you're interrupting a regular point of order. At least address my point of order. I have the right to do that by the rules of this committee. If you want to overrule the rules of committee, then do so. But this is not in any way in order. You are obligated to address a point of order according to the rules of this committee. You can overrule me by a Senate vote. You're violating your own rules. The parliamentarian has been clear about this. The parliamentarian has been clear. You can overrule the rule, the point of order I'm doing, but you have to follow the precedents and procedures of this committee. This is outrageous that you're not allowing senators to have their fair say before a controversial nominee is being done. This is unbelievable. This is unjust. This is wrong. It is the further deterioration of this committee's integrity. With a person like this, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of hearing from Chris Coons? From hearing from one of my colleagues? From hearing from Adam Schiff? What is the fear here? Have at least the decency to have a vote on my point of order regarding Rule 4. Have at least the decency to have a vote on my point of order regarding Rule 4. I have respect for you, Mr. Chairman. We've served together for more than a decade, but this is outrageous. This is unacceptable. This is wrong.
New Jersey. I want to thank the chair. Clearly, the voices of my colleagues and I are calling this what it is, which is a crossroads for this body. One of our members, it matters not what their party, who was in their state, was forcibly removed when he was asking for accountability from the executive branch. He was taken out of that room forcibly by multiple men, who then, even when he identified himself, even when he was pulled out of that room, he was then forced to the ground, pushed upon his face, his hands wrenched behind his back, and he was put in restraints. This is a crossroads for this body. This is not a partisan issue. It is one about who we are as a body. Will we let the abuses of the executive branch physically take a member of this body and drive them to the ground and put them in restraints? And why? Why? Well, we are starting to get answers already. Here is Tricia McLaughlin, who is the Assistant Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. This is her statement. Senator Padilla chose disrespectful political theater and interrupted a live press conference without identifying himself or having his Senate security pin on as he, quote, lunged towards Secretary Noem. Mr. Padilla was told repeatedly to back away and did not comply with officers' repeated commands. Secret Service thought he was an attacker, and officers acted appropriately. The statement concludes that Secretary Noem met with Senator Padilla after and held a 15-minute meeting. We know this is not true because we hear with our own ears on the tape Senator Padilla identifying himself. Further, disrespectful political theater is not a justification to remove a United States senator in their own state at a public press conference and violently push them out of the room, drive them to the ground, put them on their stomach, and handcuff them. Disrespectful behavior, this is our democracy. You have a right to speak up. You have a right to free speech. You have a right to stand and do the job that you swore an oath in this chamber to do, to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. And one of your jobs is to provide a check and a balance to the administration. One of your jobs is to give accountability to the administration. Now, I know the 100 members, the other 99 members of this body, and if disrespectful behavior is a justification for violent reprisal from the administration, how many members of this body, how many of this members of this body would be subjected to that? This is a farce of a justification, and therefore we are at a crossroads. Will my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, will my Republican colleagues justify the treatment of one of the members of this body, justify the violence against one of the members of this body, justify a member of this body being thrown upon the ground and putting handcuffs for what? For disrespectful behavior. If you think it stops with one, you are inviting it for the all, because it does not. You are inviting it for every member of this body. If the Obama administration or the Biden administration said that a senator on the other side of the aisle was being disrespectful and threw that senator violently onto the ground and put him into handcuffs, this body would be full of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle condemning what the Biden Justice Department did or the Obama Justice Department. This should not be about partisanship. This should be about patriotism. This should not be about tribalism. It should be standing up and being a leader in this moment. This is wrong. This violence is wrong. But let me be more personal. I tried to understand why this particularly upset me. And I think my colleague from Delaware spoke to that because of Alex Padilla's reputation in this body, of being a kind and gentle person. We all know him, the goodness and the decency that he has. He is not one of the louder senators. He is not one of the performative senators. He has a reputation, as my colleague from Delaware said, on both sides of the aisle for being a gentle man. But I think what was really hard for me to see was that a member of this body was driven to his knees and made to kneel before authorities. That's what got me. I think when I saw him driven to his knees, forcibly, something there got me. You see, we know Alex Padilla's story. It is an unusual story for this body. His family came here as Mexican immigrants. His father was a short order cook. His mother cleaned homes. They did those jobs that don't always come with esteem or respect. They did those jobs in which when people see them, they sometimes look down on them. They did those jobs that are often marginalized despite their dignity. They raised their son to serve. He went to MIT. They raised their son to work hard, to show grit, to rise. And they got to watch their son become a city council person in LA. They got to watch their son ascend to be the Secretary of State for California. They got to watch their son come to this body. And this son of Mexican immigrants who clean homes and serve food, this man with equal dignity in this body, today was driven violently to his knees, as if made to kneel before the authority of the executive, because he was so-called disrespectful. That should offend the consciousness, not just of the other 99 members of this body, it should offend the conscience of this country.
It does. It makes me mad as hell, Corey. You ain't the only one. But you know what? Black people gonna get mad, and they gonna fuck up this country. You let them keep fucking with us. We gonna fuck the whole country up.
And if you could force him to kneel,
It's already fucked up. They done already fucked it up.
when does it stop? What does it say to
They done fucked it up. It's up to us to clean it up. And we're gonna have to get rid of them sorry ass motherfuckers.
Constitutional duty. What does it say to other Americans this weekend when they want to peacefully protest? What does it say to other Americans?
That they don't have no rights. They're telling us you don't have no rights.
Poverty. That if a United States senator who stands up to do his job can be made to
So it's time for the Most High.
violently handcuffed.
The Most High is gonna fix this shit. Cause people ain't shit no more.
Everybody in this body should see that this is a crossroads. They treated a member of the United States Senate violently after he identified himself, dragged him out of a room, threw him upon the ground, and put him in handcuffs. Every member of this body should object to that.